This is the Business Owners IT Podcast with Anthony Gerasch and Ryan Carter, where tomorrow's technology meets today's conversations.
I am Tony Gerasch.
And I'm Ryan Carter, and this is the Business Owners IT Podcast.
A podcast where we discuss tips, tricks, and solutions for businesses involving all things tech.
Okay, this is going to be a fun one. So it's been some time now, maybe a year or two. I went to a conference, and I went to this... This is funny, too, is because... a lot of conferences I go to, like the vendors will put on dinners, right? They're like, hey, come to this dinner. And I had a vendor put on a dinner. Come to this dinner. It's at this, I think it was a steakhouse. I'm like, great. I sign up for it. And at the very end of the sign up thing, they asked for $50 for the thing. So I'm like, oh, I got to pay for my meal to go. But in the end, this worked out great because I met some wonderful people at that dinner. And one of them was a lady. I'm not going to say her name or anything like that because I don't have permission to put her on this podcast. But she works in cryptography. And she does the cryptography for the White House. So say, I know she probably didn't do this one, but back in the day, like Obama wanted to use his BlackBerry, but that wasn't approved. To get it approved, you have to go through all this stuff so that someone has to check the cryptographic mechanisms, all that stuff. So I asked her some questions, and she taught me two great things. The first thing that she taught me is that the book series, The Three-Body Problem, is really good. So I went and read that, and it was really, really good. So that's a book recommendation. I'm a sci-fi guy. You might not be. Don't watch the Netflix series. Read the books. They're so much better. But the second thing she taught me was, do you use Apple Pay?
Sure, sometimes, yep.
So she told me, use Apple Pay. It's the most cryptographically secure thing you can do to make a payment. So, I'm going to toss it over to you, Tony. Thoughts on Apple Pay, and then maybe I'll pull it back in.
Yeah, so I use Apple Pay a lot. I mean, sometimes I won't buy, so let's say, for example, I'm searching for something. Who knows? I search the internet and I find something that I want, and it's at a website that, that I believe is good, right? So I believe it's a legitimate website, but I'm not sure that I want to put my credit card information in there. So if they take Apple Pay, then I'll pay with Apple Pay. And, if I'm out, if it turns out that I'm out the $50 or $100 I spend, I'd rather be out that $100, right, than have my credit card credentials stolen, and all of a sudden they charge up thousands of dollars, and now I got to deal with the bank and your time and all that. So I do use Apple Pay. I don't use it everywhere. I always use Apple Pay for Uber, right? I use it there. I don't want them really to have my credit card.
But why aren't they getting your credit card? Like, what makes it so much different? Like, why is it better? Like, if that $50 was only that was stolen instead of your card info?
So Apple doesn't share the actual credit card information with the end person, right? What they do is they share a token, right? That says that, that you're going to be basically paid. I don't know how to put it in layman's terms, but each transaction is unique, so that token can't be used again. So it's a unique transaction each time, and then it acts just like a credit card, except for that, Apple's not sharing the information with the person who's actually getting paid.
Yeah, and some of the big problems out there too, like is these credit card skimmers, where they put a device over the credit card reader at the checkout counters or something like that. First off, the skimmers don't usually read the NFC, the tap to pay. That's why you have to insert it in anyway. But if it were to read it, basically Apple's creating a new credit card number for you every time you use Apple Pay.
That's a good way to put it.
To run that. So it's not linked back to you,
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say also, I always tap to pay too. I try not to insert my credit card. But, another place I use it sometimes is when I'm at a place that you can pay for your food from your phone, right? What's it called?
You scan a QR code and you pay your food.
It's on the receipt. You get it, right? You can scan the QR code, which I don't really recommend scanning QR codes, but if you're at a reputable place and you're pretty sure that,
Yeah, I think Toast does it.
Toast, right? So that's the company I was trying to think of, right? So if you scan a QR code, don't go to Toast, then you might want to scratch your head. But when you get to Toast, if you can use your Apple Pay, then that vendor still gets paid, or that restaurant still gets paid, but they don't have your credit card information.
Just be careful. I've done it before where I guess I signed up for that restaurant's newsletter or whatever, and I get coupons all the time for this place that I didn't really enjoy. But either way, those are now blocked. Fun story for my Apple Pay is I had set it up on my phone when I first got it, and I didn't know really what it was. I was like, whatever. And I went to lunch. Forgot forgot my wallet.
I've had that happen to me too.
So I walked into McDonald's and I'm like, how am I going to pay for this? And I'm like, they take Apple Pay.
Yeah.
The old double click and got me a Big Mac and I'm good to go.
Yeah. That actually happened to me too. I actually went in to a Mexican restaurant in Morris. I remember it like yesterday. I was alone. My wife was out somewhere, whatever. I ordered my food. I ate everything and I got up there and I had no wallet. And they showed me how to use Apple Pay. I'd never used it before. Yeah, he said, you got Apple Pay? I said, yeah, I got Apple Pay. And so I just opened it up and tapped the little thing just like a credit card and away you go.
If he didn't have Apple Pay, he'd be still washing dishes to this day.
Well, no, I went there all the time, so the guy would have let me go. I said, I would have went home and got the money. But usually when I'm at restaurants, I try to pay cash now and not use a credit card. But yeah. So go ahead.
I mean, I guess my tip of the week is you don't have to use Apple Pay because not everybody's Apple, but there are other services out there that will tokenize that credit card for you. And look into it. Some credit card companies actually give you the option to create multiple credit card numbers under your one card so that you can use that card at other vendors. So, like, actually, I think it was one of my Capital One cards told me that. I don't use Capital One anymore, by the way, so don't try to get after me, people. But anyway, it created other card numbers. So like one for Amazon, one for this, one for that. But they were card numbers. So like if that could still get stolen, but if someone was using it, then I'd know where it got stolen from instead of being able having to track it down. So there's those mechanisms out there. But if you can find something that tokenizes your credit card like that so that every transaction is unique, go for it.
Yeah. And yeah, if you can use the Apple Pay, I mean, it's not for everybody, right? Older generations don't understand how that works. But you'll see kids all the time, or younger folks, or young adults too, where all they carry is their cell phone, and they're always tapping at Starbucks. They're always doing. That's what they're doing. They're using Apple Pay.
Yep, I tap all the time. I mean, it's just easier than getting my wallet out.
Yeah, and I think my tip would be if you go to a website, and you think it's legit and all that other stuff, and if they take Apple Pay, well, that's a good thing. Then use Apple Pay to pay for it, so you don't have to. Put in your credentials or put in all your credit card information, and then here, 6 months later, they've been hacked and all your information, credit card numbers and, 3-digit codes and all that stuff, went out the door too.
Yeah, it's so much easier too when you're on that site to double click and pay instead of having to enter all your information.
Yeah.
And again, it's cryptographically secure. I mean, we kind of make fun of Face ID because I could like take Tony's phone and when he's sleeping, put it up to his face and get into it. But no one's doing that from overseas to your phone. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got that cryptographically secure that mechanism is inside of your phone and it's yours as long as you keep care of your stuff.
And the other thing really cool about it with Apple Pay too, or any of them, I'm sure they all do this, but we're Apple people, but I'm sure all the Samsungs and Androids, they have their own thing. But what's really cool is that you don't have to put in your shipping information. So if you put stuff in your cart and you go to check out and it says, we take Apple Pay and you select Apple Pay down there that you want to do that. When you actually do that, it's gonna put all that information in there for you.
Just get the address right. I've shipped multiple things to this office when it should have came to my house. I'm like so excited it's showing up that day, and all of a sudden I get the ding that like, oh, it showed up at my office and not at my home.
Yeah, so. that's a good FYI. You can change the address that it goes to, but again, you don't have to fill it in. So if you have multiple places, like, I have a home in Wisconsin, I can select that. I can select my office or I can select my work. That's all good tips. I think you can even use Apple Pay now to pay for on eBay.
Oh, can you?
I think so.
I haven't bought something on eBay in a very long time.
Yeah, I think you can. I think I did, and I had to return it, and it was a little bit slower process for returning it. But yeah, you can use it there too.
Maybe eBay will make a comeback.
Oh, I don't know. I think there's still stuff
Are we
there.
predicting this now?
Yeah, right. I mean, PayPal's still around too. PayPal's the same idea, right? They don't share your information.
We're going to talk in a future or previous whatever episode about the AI bubble.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that bubble will burst and problems will happen with finances, which I hope it doesn't. I hope the economy doesn't take a downturn. But eBay could become. That's when it became massive. Is when the economy took a downturn. But either way, that's a whole nother world.
Yeah, I mean, again, eBay. I mean, I'm old enough to know. I remember when eBay started, right? And again, there were other places that did online auctions. They became the leader, right? They're still probably the leader today, but it's not as it become more like an Amazon now than a place to buy, used
Salt shakers.
used stuff, right? I mean, the idea behind
Mook
it,
house of salt
and that's
shaker.
usually what I look for is from there is things that are used that I want to replace.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us on the Business Owners IT podcast, and we hope to see you in a couple weeks.
See you in 2 weeks. Thank you very much.
Unique computing solutions. Your IT challenges solved.